Hey Siri, who is Nat Turner?
Nat Turner
Was an enslaved African American who became famous for leading one of the most significant slave rebellions in U.S. history. Born in 1800 in Southampton County, Virginia, Turner was deeply religious and believed he had been chosen by God to lead his people to freedom. He was literate, which was rare for enslaved people at the time, and he became a preacher, organizing religious meetings among other enslaved people. In August of 1831, Nat Turner led a violent rebellion known as Nat Turner's Rebellion. The rebellion quickly spread, and while initially successful, it was eventually crushed by the state militia. Turner managed to evade capture for several weeks before being apprehended on October 30th, 1831. After his capture, Turner was tried, convicted, and executed by hanging on November 11th, 1831. Oh, don't let me forget, the hanging was public, so everybody was there to watch. And it did not stop there. After his execution, his body was subjected to horrific mutilation. His limbs were hacked off, his skin was flayed from his body, his organs were removed, and they were paraded around as grotesque trophies. Now, in my research, this is where things kind of got blurry, because as of lately, I've been seeing a lot of information on the internet about the great Nat Turner. A lot of the information referring to how his captors ate his body in hopes that they would gain superpowers because Nat Turner was so strong and resilient. But what I'm reading from mentions what I'm about to tell you next as the worst part of all of this. It says here the most disturbing act came when his head was severed and preserved in a jar, shown off like a twisted prize to instill terror. And while being beheaded is disgusting to say the least, the fact that after these people hung him, mutilated his body, and left him, or what was left of him, up for display, cannibalism is by far too damn far. Like, when I go back and teach myself about my history, our history, Black history, the world's history, I get so pissed off. Like, we were treated like shit just solely based off of the color of our skin. And honestly, to this day, we still treat it like shit. But back to Mr. Turner. Despite the savagery of his execution, Nat Turner's spirit couldn't be erased. His name, forever tied to his act of resistance, lives on to this day. Not as a man who was broken, but as a symbol of defiance against an oppressive, violent system. And I feel like that last little bit of what I just said is a great representation of what my people are. We are resilient, brave, bold, beautiful. We are the culture. And I promise to continue to use my platform to show off my blackity blackness.